Hey, there we are. Oh my God, too much. There's always something going on in this damn technology, right? I swear I know how technology works. I call the Geek Squad and the Apple people, whatever. What do they call them? The Genius Bar people, the Blue
Genius
Shirt
bar.
people.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So all right. Anyway, so
Theoretically.
yes, theoretically. So yes, welcome to the biggest happy hour in a half an hour. There. Let's get going here. I am your hostess with the mostest, Paul Robertson, and I'm joined here in the studio by my good friend, Rene Rivera.
What up? How's it going, everybody?
So again, if you're tuning in, you're getting a little sneak peek on the guest who's going to be dropping on Tuesday, episode 104 there. So
Yeah.
ask questions. You may get a little bit of tidbits there on what you're going to hear in the podcast.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully, yeah. So, so let's get right into it. I know I'm glad you all. I know I ghosted everybody last week. We were on vacation. We talked about wanting to do a episode where we did it remote, and I was like, no. I said let's give it a little break here, and I'll kind of just chill with the family. And again, we took a little trip to Orlando and did some hangout and so forth. So hey Siri, thanks for checking in there. Our good pal Siri is checking in there. Say hi to Renee.
What up? What
So
up? Hey,
this
Siri.
is like podcast royalty, or maybe
I won't go that far.
maybe it's more like podcast like dinosaur, maybe because he was way long ago. Episode two. He's like Jurassic Park, Jurassic drum something, right? So
This is proof that evolution does exist, people.
yes. Well, you were calling just before we were taping the episode. There, you were calling yourself a monkey. Sure, okay then.
What?
Oh, because Siri was listening. That's right. We forgot.
Siri.
Siri is always listening, right? Whether it's in the chats or on the phone. So yes, Siri is always listening. So,
She's an annoying bitch.
so
Sorry.
we'll just make sure you're talking about the phone.
No, yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay,
The
yeah,
phone.
let's make
Siri.
sure. I don't want to lose.
Yeah,
I don't want to
sorry.
lose a good.
That's not what we're saying. Calm down, people.
All right, we're gonna get to our biggest happy hour and a happy hour, our segment here called "What the Florida." We're gonna ask this question 3 times here. So, all right, we're gonna, as you all know, you're listening in and tuning in to this, where I read this card, I read the question on the card. You're supposed to go ahead and put your answer over in the Facebook group. Answer what put your reply to this answer. But Renee's gonna give us his answer actually live in person. So we all ready for our segment?
Is this like Florida history kind of stuff, or like?
Far from it, bro. Far from it. So here we go. What the
All
Florida?
right, what the Florida?
All right. So that's probably where when I post the video on YouTube, YouTube's going to scrape that video because I guess I don't have the copyright for it. So anyway, all right. So we got a fan blowing my hair here. All right. So here we go for our first read of our question of the night here for What the Florida. Here it is. What's the most imaginative? Let me hold on. This is a big word. It's like many syllables. What's the most imaginative insult you can come up with? Ooh. Okay, there it is. We're gonna read this 2 more times throughout the half hour, and then I'll read it one more time. What's the most imaginative insult you can come up with? There we go. Here's our card for the night. There, you'll see it right there. I'm sure if you zoom in real close, you can probably read that card.
I mean,
all
like,
right.
how far can we go with this?
Do whatever you want to go. I don't know. Well, let's see. Hopefully, you're.
I mean, on the basis of intellect, if I was going to diss somebody, it would be you can eat the undigested corn kernels from my shiz.
Wow, man, I haven't even eaten dinner yet, so
My
I guess
bad.
thanks. You just put me off of dinner here, so I guess I'm not having anything. So all right,
Just
I don't
don't
know.
have
I don't
corn.
know, Siri. I don't know what you think of this guy here. He is definitely a character. So again, listen to episode 2.
Make sure you block out like 5 hours.
Yeah, right. It's a two-parter. That's for a reason there. So, all right. So yeah. So we got through here. Like I said, we got Rene Rivera on our show. He's in studio, in person, live, and not Memorex. And we're taping episode 104 tonight, and we'll drop this coming Tuesday. Like I said, Rene is returning. He's a podcast alum. He has also been a couple times over co-host on a few shows as well.
I have been,
We
yeah.
were talking about that on the podcast. You've also designed our Drums and Rums logo, right? This thing right here, right? The logo. And what else? Oh yeah, that's right. You're also the drummer for Loch Ness
There
Monster.
you go.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Renee does it all, and then that's just that's like in the first 6 hours of the day. So, but yeah, so we're going in here and talking about what we were. So the episode that's coming up again, it's going to be with Renee and returning podcast alum. But also this week we did have an episode that dropped this past Tuesday, and it was I had a little help with our good friend Brad Brock. As you probably all know, Brad, he is the host of the Jams and Cocktails podcast, and I hit him up with this idea that said, "Hey, I want to try something out." I did actually have a little bit of a last minute thing that came up, but I said I've had this idea that him and I are going to be working on and from some future things. But this, if you've checked out this past podcast 103, it is with a story. It's kind of we're trying to dip the toe into a true crime story. So this was a story about who killed Keith Moon's chauffeur. Did you see what I did there? Who?
Who?
Who are you? Kill. So yeah, so we talked about a story that a lot of people don't know about. This is 50 years ago. This happened, and it was a really bizarre story. Like I said, a lot of people didn't know this took place. It was probably again in the time period before the internet. God, when things you probably could get away with stuff, right? We all talk
You
about
actually had to read.
yeah.
Too back then.
Like we said, if the internet wasn't, isn't that always the memes that go around that saying there's a good thing there wasn't the internet or Facebook because
Oh, dude, people got away with so much murder.
yes,
Legit.
well, yes, that's exactly it. That's
Yeah.
what we were talking about. So yeah, so check out that podcast episode 103. It's already available out there. Really interesting episode. We're like I said, Brad and I are looking to do. We're looking to do a lot more collaboration, a lot more podcast stuff. So stay tuned. More to come on that from both Brad and I. He's getting ready to launch his 4th season. So next Wednesday, check it out, 8 p.m. on his Facebook page and YouTube channel. Check out Brad Brock's. He talks about local music. He talks about pop news. He's got a whole crew over there. His co-host Jordan and Ellie and
Where's he based out of, Paul?
he is based out of Port St. Lucie, so he is local.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, so maybe we
Small world.
maybe we can get you hooked up. He knows the guys. The guys from Rain Camp have been on the show.
Yeah.
Yep. So Jeff,
That's my old hood.
that's it. Yep. So yeah, maybe definitely we'll hook you up. So yeah, so he's getting ready to launch season 4 on his show Jams and Cocktails, and so definitely it's a really good fun time. They do a lot of fun and games, things like the shot collar trivia or shot collar music trivia, eating bugs, the hottest pep or chip challenge.
No way.
He's done. They're big fans of the RuPaul show, and they've done a drag show contest. I mean, it's just crazy. So of course, it's all with booze and stuff like that. But yeah, so our good buddy Brad, we want to definitely give Brad a lot of love there too. So definitely check it out there. Like it says, anything if you're a fan of us, definitely you need to be a fan of Brad's show as well too. So yeah, so big shout out there to Brad and the crew, the wrecking crew, as Jordan and Ellie are referred to, and Derek Zugel. So yeah, so check them out too. So on Wednesday nights, next Wednesday, they launched their new episode for episode 4, season 4. Yeah, I'm thinking of like Star Wars terms or something like that. So yeah, so check that out. So yeah, so time to read this card again. I guess for those who are just popping into the chat here, though, I swear, I don't know, maybe my invite there that went out there was a little low on our invite schedule. But anyways, here we go. We're going to read this question again. I'm going to look at this camera that's over here that Renee's recording. Here we go.
Me doing like a little TikTok jam.
Oh, here we go. Look, here we go. All right. What's the most imaginative insult you can come up with? What the Florida?
What the Florida?
What?
Bam.
There we go. So there's our chance. We read it a third time there. One more to go. All right. So where are we at? So as y'all know, we have our next little segment there. We started having fun. Obviously, we've got these deck of cards from a company called Poddex, right? And it's kind of interview questions. And I've got this set of cards called What the F. And we just kind of actually on this show, it may have been Siri who actually referred to it was say, we're going to call this What the Florida because it makes a whole lot of sense because a lot of crazy shit goes on in Florida. So, yes, that's What the Florida now. That's what we're calling it now. What the Florida, right? Because a lot of crazy shit happens.
Dude,
And
there is a lot of crazy shit that happens in Florida.
well, I'm glad you just mentioned that because that leads right into our next segment here called our Florida Man. And these are not the droids you're looking for. Oh, scooch on over, Renee. You're out of the camera shot here. Come on over. There we go. So, yes, look at that guy. These are not the droids you're looking for. I'm going to read you the story about our Florida Man, and I'm going to get a little bit of update on our Florida Man segment here. I'm going to tell you, just make sure you remind me. I got to have a little update here. So, yes, look at that guy. Remember this guy. So, here we go. Yo, ho, ho. It's Captain Ron Capoot checking in there. Hey, Ron, good. Thanks for checking in and good timing here. So here we go. We're going to read our Florida Man story here. So give me 1 second.
I'm literally nervous to hear this.
Okay, so here we go, folks. We're going to read this story here. So, but you know what? Before we do, because I think we were probably, Renee's getting nervous. And for those that watch the show normally here is our Florida Man. Let me go ahead and introduce you, Renee, to Cigar City Brewing's Florida Man IPA. So there you go, Cigar City. We love you there. Check us out there. Check it out. Florida City, Florida Man, and so forth. All right. So cheers. Here goes to our Florida Man story. All right. So here we go. So this just recently took place. Here's the title of the story. Florida Man poses as cast member, steals $10,000, R2-D2 droid, in a supposed attempt to earn a job at Disney World security. You can't make this up. Come on. So let me hear.
Freaking putts.
Here's the story. And there's going to be an interesting tie that you're going to, I think, get a kick out of here in a second here, okay?
God.
All right, so here we go. A man was caught and arrested for impersonating a hotel guest and a cast member as he took a gold necklace and an R2-D2 droid worth $10,000, according to sheriff's reports, detailing the man's scheme that unfolded across Disney property this year.
Oh, my Lord.
David Proudfoot, 44 of Kissimmee, is facing several charges, including grand theft. Proudfoot caught security's attention last month as he pushed a cart on Epcot Resorts Boulevard to Walt Disney World's Swan Reserve. So again, that's the picture there you see there next to him. That's one of the hotels they call the Swan.
That's my dad.
He wore a Disney World name tag that said David and a bright orange safety vest. Okay, sounds legit, right? There's so many people that work over on that property. The security officer noticed the behavior as suspicious and offered to assist the male with the cart onto the property. Okay. The male appeared confused about the location of the loading docks or proper procedures at the Swan Reserve. Security then called deputies to respond, the arrest report said. Proudfoot claimed to be David Rogers and said he was a Walt Disney Company employee stationed at the Disney's Yacht Club Resort Receiving Division.
Hold on.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Yikes.
It's a beautiful day in the Disney World. It's a beautiful day in the Disney World. Won't you be mine? I'm going to steal an R2. All right, anyway. So, but there was plenty of red flags that Proudfoot was lying. Disney security said there was no record of anybody with that name working at the company. The man whom Proudfoot claimed was his boss works in Burbank, California. And when Proudfoot, accompanied by the sheriff's office, went to the yacht club where he supposedly worked, he got lost. He clearly didn't know the proper employee procedures. He couldn't open an employee locker where he claimed to have left his belongings. But wait.
Oh, dude, this gets better.
So just imagine all this right now, okay? He's going through all this craziness, and now his web is unraveling.
He's going to get made like in 3 seconds.
Well, you're either going to get made or you're going to come up with another story, right? Finally, Proudfoot admitted his real name and showed deputies his driver's license. Authorities believe he was trying to distract them from the thefts, so he led them around the yacht club. Proudfoot concealed his identity for 3.5 hours, the report said. Good Lord, what's up with the police over there to letting that guy go for that long? Maybe it was a slow day and they just wanted to see where this was going to go, maybe. Proudfoot admitted he moved an R2D2 droid worth between $6,000 to $10,000 from the Swan's hotel third floor to an unknown location at the Swan Reserve. The report said Proudfoot was temporarily depriving the Swan Hotel of the full use of that product.
Really?
Details about the R2 unit was not given, but it was likely one of the stationary models used at the photo ops at the resort. Yeah, of course, you're not stealing the real R2. Come on, there's no such thing as that. Proudfoot also said he took a game machine called Duck Catcher from the game center on the first floor of the Dolphin Hotel. The game was worth $3,500, according to another sheriff's report.
Wait, like a vintage arcade game of... All right.
Proudfoot told a sheriff's sergeant he had an application for Walt Disney World security pending and was moving the items to show the weakness in the security of the resorts in hopes to secure a better pay. That is awesome.
Bro, they should have given him the job right there.
Say,
he proved
you guys
right.
suck because I was able to steal stuff and I only came clean because my story was falling apart. Okay. Proudfoot is represented by the Public Defender's Office according to court records. The office does not comment on cases, and a representative told the WTWNT, and I'll tell you who that is in a second, on Tuesday. It wasn't the first time Proudfoot, a disgraced educator, had been accused of stealing or lying about his identity. On Valentine's Day, Proudfoot paid $703 for a gold necklace by charging it to somebody else's room at the Four Seasons Resort Orlando at Walt Disney World Resort, according to the arrest report filed May 31 in Orange County Circuit Court. The Baltimore Sun newspaper previously reported Proudfoot had been accused of stealing $15,000 from the school system in Baltimore County, where he once worked as an elementary school principal, according to a 2015 story.
What?
Yeah, I told you. I didn't think you were going to like the story. He's giving teachers a bad rap, Rene.
Dude. Okay, I would leave my comments to the end. Proceed.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna have a discussion here in a minute. The alleged theft included fraudulent reimbursements in which Proudfoot said he was buying items for the school but did not. The Sun story said by the time he was charged with a crime in Maryland, Proudfoot already moved to Florida and was working as an assistant principal at Seminole County Schools. Where's the reference check? Come on, man.
For real?
Just go to it's the internet. We were just talking about it. It's so much easier. He soon resigned, the story noted. On social media, Proudfoot says he works as an educational leader and executive director for Foot Forwards to help students. Foot Forwards website is no longer active. That is the story, and then just tell you who the WTFD. All right, so WDWNT is the website, and this is apparently, I don't think this is sanctioned by Disney, but is the Walt Disney World News Today. So that's a website that apparently has all these Disney stories. So that's who the WTNT. So okay, so that's our guy there, Mr. Proudfoot. Are you proud anymore? Yes, Proudfoot. Yes, yes. Are you proud? So let's hear the comments here. Let's debate.
I mean, like, look. First of all, the mere notion that he was able to sneak onto the property with the vest, they should have given the schmuck the job.
Well,
and he proved them right.
But he was walking down what I would imagine is just an open, normal road, right?
Sure, but whatever.
I could show up and throw a vest on and get a name tag, right?
But, okay, the thing that kind of chafed my crotch a little bit was the guy was a freaking former principal. I'm a teacher. Like, I played drums. One day, I'm hoping to be a full-time rock star and living the dream, making millions. But
not stealing millions.
Not stealing. And even if I did make it in the industry, I love my job. So I would probably work like virtually, as crazy as that sounds, just because I'm very passionate about education and what needs to happen. So, man, that's kind of unfortunate. And then boo on Florida for not freaking checking his, like you said, reference check. What the hell? Ugh. That's intense. I mean, whatever. Hard times. He still should have got the job at Disney. He proved them wrong. But, I mean,
Well, nobody was paying attention. If he was able to move that equipment, then who was running the security at the hotel,
I agree.
right?
Like, he proved them right. Like,
So, look, this is the crazy stuff. I don't know. Let me read the chat. Let me read some of the comments in the chats here because I think that's kind of what is okay.
I got another
So,
funny Florida news story that I heard years ago that would only happen in Florida.
well, everything happens in Florida that we can't believe, right? All right. So Kirk said, "Proudfoot?" question mark. Yeah, that's his name. I don't know. I just read whatever.
Hey.
Charlene said, but he got busted. Yes. What else? No, he instantly raised suspicions. Okay, Kirk says, where was where was he storing the robot in game console? That's a lot of heavy stuff being moved around the hotel. That's true,
That's
right?
a good
And
question.
then they never said. They said some undisclosed location, which I don't know where the hell that is. He gives principals a bad name.
That's true. Well, and
You give principals a bad name. Wow, wow.
well, I mean, last time I checked, principals they make good loot. Better than teachers, and I know.
I don't know. There's always, that's the unfortunate thing. There's always a story behind something that causes people to do things, whether it's financial things or other things going on. But apparently, in this case here, but I don't know. Again, this is what we say. Here's the Florida man who's trying to steal from the mouse.
So
That's I'm actually, you know what though, Renee? I'm actually surprised, right? So what I believe Disney World property is like Vegas,
oh yeah,
right?
100%.
If you get busted, like you ever seen the movie Casino?
Yeah,
Right? What happens when the guy was counting cards and cheating?
you're done.
Right? They take him in the back or they bury him in the desert, right? And that's kind of how someone that like it allegedly. I'm sorry, hold on. Allegedly,
Disney is
don't
not
want to get
really
sued.
the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued.
No,
okay?
you're not going to get sued, but everybody knows that Disney's evil.
There you go.
Sorry.
You're gonna get your passes revoked, Renee.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So yeah, yeah. She says, Charlene says, he probably just rolled it down the hall, and he clearly doesn't have a full deck like this. Oh, look at that great segue there! A full deck of cards.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah, give myself some applause for that. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll be here all because I live here. Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy story, right?
I don't know if it could top this one though. This was like maybe about 10 years ago.
Are you going off the record, or you ad-libbing and throwing in your own Florida man story?
No, this was a legit. I heard it on a radio station because they used to do something similar.
It would be so great if you were the Florida man in the story.
Oh, dude, yeah, wouldn't it? But
Plot twist.
No kids. This woman was arrested. I probably wait swallow. Cause she.
Whoa! Wait, this woman is arrested. Swallow. Wow. Okay, where's this going? Oh, you meant me swallow. Okay, sorry.
An army of pet squirrels, and hated her husband, and trained them to attack his nuts. I'm not. I swear.
Come on. This
dude,
sounds like
I swear on my life.
squirrels and nuts. Okay.
Yes, and I thought it was bogey, and I freaking looked it up, and it was it was somewhere in one of those like Central Florida counties where there's nothing going on, where all you got to do is tie many hands to teach your squirrel.
Attack. That'd be kind of cool. I would
nuts.
love to have a killer attack squirrel army. That'd be kind of cool, actually, right?
My other half would freak out.
It's like kind of like Ant-Man, but with squirrels, right? Squirrel Man.
Well, what do you go? Suicide Squad, the rat chick in that thing?
Yeah, but that well, that's true. Yeah, she did make it through the end of that episode.
Yeah,
that
she
movie.
did.
That's right. I always thought you meant the other thing, rat guy that got killed on the beach who actually lived.
I like
Spoiler
him,
alert.
the weasel.
I don't know. That was a little
It
too.
was cool.
That looked like something my dog would hack up or something like that with all the hair or a cat fur ball, right? Oh my god. So yeah. So here we go. Let's see. He clearly doesn't have the nerve of some people blow my mind. That's true, sir. Yeah, it's just again, it makes you wonder where does I don't know, and that's pretty elaborate to go through, but apparently when you hear the rest of that story about how he's already been doing some other stuff up
Yeah.
in Maryland, that he's got no problem with, you know, this is just some people that are just like that. I don't know what the word is. Not
No,
psychotic.
I mean it's sad, but it freaking makes for a great story. It's hilarious.
And I held back, and and again, most of these stories I try to, depending on what story I read, if it seems like it's something like somebody had just like a nervous breakdown or something like just seemed like it snapped or whatever, I kind of been, I won't say who they are. And again, anybody can look and Google it, but at least I feel in my conscience to not say it. But I'm like, this guy is just stupid and stupid criminal, right? Is what it is, right? That's
I
and
mean,
sure.
you can't step up to one of the biggest corporations in North America and think you're gonna get away with. That's like trying to steal like the first Apple computer that's in the vault somewhere in
You
California.
probably would have been better luck going to steal at Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, set your expectations on what you're going to do. If you're not, look, you got to be like Ocean's 11 to be scheming against Disney. Okay, you set your standards a little bit lower. Okay,
Get yourself a recycled pizza
yeah,
pie.
exactly right. Kind of start out slow. Maybe get some tokens or something like that, or something like that, right? Or steal a game out of the Chuck E. Cheese, right? But anyway, so that is our Florida man. So cheers to you, Mr. Proudfoot. You are not proud in our eyes. So there you go. So there's our Florida man of the week.
Now, I'm gonna plug completely mysteriously. I'm not a big fan of IPAs, but this ish right here, it's quite delicious. I'm kind of shocked.
I can see that. I could tell it was already pretty much empty.
Yeah, no, I ain't playing games. It's actually really good.
I'm not an IPA guy either, and I said the same thing. I'm like, it's just enough where it's not like too hoppy and not
Yeah.
too crazy, and it's
It's got some great flavor to it.
yeah. So big shout out to Florida man. Again, Cigar City Brewing over there, Double India Pale Ale. So yeah, so this has got a little bit of
Delicious.
a little kick to it. So yeah, so there, cheers. All right, so yeah, hey Cigar City, got no problem if you want to supply us. Come on down. Again, he's not just saying it.
No, dude, for real. You guys got some good stuff. And if you got some stogies around there, that'd be dope too.
Actually, I thought about last week when I was in Orlando. I was like, how can I swing through Tampa and stop by and see them? And I know my family probably would have disowned me because like, oh, he's doing something for the podcast again, Dad. Yes, I know my wife right now is probably laughing at me. So she knows how true that would have been. So, and the reenactment too. So yeah, all right. So let's go back to our full screen here. So we're gonna go back to. So if you just tuned in, thank you for tuning in here. So Rene is still thinking about his. No, that's not that question. He's still thinking about his story regarding his most imaginative. What's the most imaginative insult you can come up with?
No, I thought I gave one.
Did you? Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's something about corn and something, and that's why I said I couldn't eat dinner now.
My bad.
So, what's the most imaginative insult you can come up with? So, again, folks, go over in the chat there in the Facebook group, the Drums and Rums group. Post your response. I love to hear it. Again, we're having fun here, right? This is what it's all about. And again, as our previous guest that we had on, Robert Burr, he said drums and rums. And I know I got a really unique kind of thing here. I got drummers, I got rummers, and again, it's like an orgy of
But you know what?
sorting stuff, right? He said to me, Rene, drums and rums. That's kind of like milkshakes and hand grenades. They just don't don't seem to go together.
No, man, I don't agree with that. Like,
I explained to him exactly. I said, here's why it doesn't, because you got music, you got booze, and it's a virtuous or symbiotic cycle, right?
there you go.
And if you drink a lot of booze, people sound a lot better, especially at karaoke night.
This is true. That's
Ooh,
why I avoid.
we need to set up a karaoke night. Oh man, can I do a Patreon? Would anybody be interested in Patreon watching me do karaoke?
I think if you do that, you gotta call on some of your alums.
Oh, the lums.
I think that's
Okay. Maybe that might be a thing. And look,
listen.
people are doing happy hours on Zoom on Patreon. They're doing like meetups and all that. I think we should do karaoke Zoom
Here,
on Patreon where people can tune in. Oh, I like this idea a lot.
I'll regret it, but because I love you.
He has a song he
I
knows he can kill.
hate karaoke. Like, I need a
She
lyric.
she was somebody I went to high school with. Karaoke.
Okay. Well, I would.
Boom. Wow, look, I hit the rim shop on that one.
If you could get some of the other guys to do it, especially Fruge,
Oh my god.
Fruge, that's a call out. I'm letting you know right now. Where you at? Right here. Get this out in my face.
That camera right there.
Okay. That would be hilarious. I will come and sing karaoke with you.
Okay, there we go.
I hate karaoke. But
All right.
Because it's Paul. That would be dope.
So let's see what we got here. So Charlene says, alum karaoke. Sure, why not? So there's a few people in the chat here that were alums. So who knows? We may have to show up there and do some karaoke.
Oh, dude, that would be great.
Hey, maybe I can hit up Dorothea.
I don't think I'd be able to sing. She'd freak me out. I love Dorothea. She's incredible.
Dorothea, you doing? She ain't saying she's a gold digger. I don't know. Dorothea, again, if you don't know Dorothea, you should. You know, as we said, she's the godmother of drumming. She's awesome. We were talking on the podcast earlier that she was on Drums and Rums before she was on the Jimmy Fallon show or the Nick Cannon show. So I made her famous. Not really. Not really.
What do you got?
No, I'm just all fun aside. We super love Dorothea. It was such a surreal that podcast episode with her was like so surreal. It was like
so cool.
Okay, we know who she is, and again, as drummers, we're like,
No, I mean, she was Stacy in everything that she's presented musically,
right?
And she was just a genuinely just beautiful human being. Like she was.
It still had it. I mean, that's inspirational, right?
Oh,
People that are,
absolutely.
We're not gonna say her age because we already warned you about.
And just hearing her story, and then seeing, I'm grateful that she's kind of, and if you're listening, Dorothea, or if you're gonna check this out, whatever, who knows, but I'm genuinely grateful that she's acquiring the success that she's acquiring now. I think it's based off of what I see as far as musicianship and knowledge of music. It's long overdue. And, playing an instrument that is predominantly male driven.
Yep. Right.
I think that she would put any guy to shame behind the kit. Like she was amazing. So anyway,
all right.
That's
who
my
knows?
soapbox.
Who knows? So we'll see who we can get to come back on and do some karaoke. So again, I totally, as we were talking earlier, like I said on the podcast, you're getting a little bit of sneak peek of what some of the things we talked about. But 2 years, over 2 years of into this, 104 episodes now. Tons of guests, tons of alums, as I call them, right? And just go back, and again, we hit a huge milestone this month, and again, I credit that to everyone who listens, everyone who thinks what I say or what I do or present on each week on the podcast. I know it's a lot to put out there. I know it's a lot on my family that I'm always doing this or that. But again, I think it's a lot to do with I try to find people that I think are interesting, that I think others people would find interesting,
Yeah, but I think it's also a credit to you.
Well, thank you.
Just being just a genuinely nice individual to kind of want to get to know and connect. I know, our schedules are insane and mental, but every time we do cross paths or we're doing this like that, it's like if we've known each other for a long time. So I think that that's a credit to your character, and I think the successes that you're benefiting, and I think anyone who's listening or hears there can attribute that you're a great guy to be around with, Paul. So that kudos to you, bro. I think it's great. It's fantastic.
I appreciate that. So we had a big month where we hit our first month of 1,000 downloads in 1 month.
That's amazing. Congratulations, dude.
Thanks.
That's fantastic. Well deserved.
So I've been finally able to be eligible on our podcasting host to monetize. So hopefully I can make a little money, you know.
Yeah, and even if some people think that like drums and rum go together like lemon tuna fish, fuck them. It's great. Like who cares?
It's
freaking
I tell people all the time, it's the
do your
hook.
thing.
It can be as loose as hell, but as long as it's a hook to have the conversation, boom, and then we go. Right. So that's it.
Have a good time with it, man.
All right. So what are we saying? All right. So we're getting a lot of thumbs up here about the karaoke idea. So maybe we got to work on that. That's going to require a little bit of planning. So I think that's going to be definitely.
Any way I can help,
You got it, man.
let me know.
All right. All right. So I think we've hit all of our marks tonight. I know we're a little bit over here tonight. We've talked about our Florida man story. We've talked about our what the Florida question of the night. I'm glad to be back in the studio there. I know the last one was 2 weeks ago, and we had a few of our folks then. And I'll be doing more with, I call them the Rum Posse there. Nia from My Rum Diaries. Jami from Ready Set Rum. Roger and Cole from the Just Drinking crew. And again, we're going to do a lot more rum-related content and sharing and things and so forth. So we're going to try to grow our brands together. Just to, again, spread the word about rum. Just again, look, we're having a good time, right? And this is kind of like what Renee and I are doing tonight here. Just having a good time, good camaraderie, talking some interesting stuff. You know, drums, rums, music related, and all the things in between. And then just kind of go from there, man. So, hey, if I become like Jimmy Fallon and I have a Tonight Show, you'll be my band leader.
Dude, don't play, man.
So
That might make me cry.
You're gonna be my band leader. You're gonna be like Fred Armisen on, which again, if you ever seen Fred Armisten's
I
Netflix,
have, dude, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand that guy.
yeah, I know he plays some silly characters, but I didn't realize he actually is he's legit.
Pretty talented,
Yeah,
man. He
yeah.
plays guitar and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
And I love the segment that he did with Sheila E. She was playing the octa pedal thing,
Yes.
octa bass with the many different bass pedals. And so
Hey, and if you're gonna sign off real quick before I'm out, I just want to send a shout out to Dom Famalario. Hey man, our thoughts and prayers are with you, man. Speedy recovery, and thank you for taking the time to meet with Paul and do an episode with him. And from one drummer and a student of drums, thank you for all that you continue to do, and we know that you'll be back out there changing lives and being the greatest global ambassador of music and drums in no time. So our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, and just know that there's tons of us that are behind you guys. So
here's to you, Dom. Keep it rocking. We know we love you. Keep it going there. So we thank everybody for tuning in tonight. There, hope you all had fun. Again, we're gonna keep cranking out these Thursday night shows because I know Fridays kind of get a little tough. The weekends are in front of us, especially the a long holiday weekend. So don't blow your fingers off. Okay, have a safe holiday this weekend.
for real.
4th of July is on Monday, so we know it's a long, nice holiday weekend here in Florida. It's going to be hot as balls.
Dude.
Yes, hot as, I forgot what the pecan sweat socks, I don't know. 100, maybe we're talking about the middle of Central Florida. The middle of the part of the state is probably why all the crazy people live there.
Yes,
It's because it's like, during the summertime, it's like 119 degrees, feels like, temperature, because humidity and the heat. Yes, so a lot of chafing going on, so stock up on your baby powder. All right, so that's your tip for the night there. Stock up on your baby powder. All right, I thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're back here. We're ready to go. I'm ready to rip this summer here. I can't wait for the rest of we got coming up for the rest of the next 6 months. And I'm going to tell Rene, once we wrap this up, I'm going to tell him somebody I'm going to try to land here on the podcast I think will blow his mind. But again, August is coming up there. My birthday month. It's also National Rum Month, too. So a lot of craziness is going to go on there.
That's a double whammy, bro.
That's right. You got it. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for the biggest happy hour and a happy hour. Have a great night. Thanks, all. Cheers.
See y'all.